knowing who you want to work with, who you should work with, and who you shouldn't. So we call this one, when in doubt, bounce them out. Hey everybody, in this video, we want to talk to you about 10 amazing tips, 10 awesome tips to make your hypnosis sessions go much more smoothly and get better results for your clients.
Right, and the first one we call never go in with a specific plan. Now here's what I mean by that. If you are a hypnotherapist or a clinical hypnotist and you're working with clients, there's a temptation for a certain thing to happen.
Oh, absolutely. There's a temptation to think, okay, I've spoken to the client or I've read their email that they sent me about the problem that they're having, and I know exactly how I'm going to help them. I'm going to run them through this and then this and then this, and they make a really detailed plan that all just goes to crap when you actually do the session.
Correct. There's a saying in military science that no plan survives the first contact with the enemy. So let me tell you, no hypnosis plan survives first contact with your subject, because what you need to do is calibrate your subject in the session and determine then which intervention you're going to do. There's a danger that if I've cured a phobia, a fear of heights with someone, and I dealt with a lot of those, and that person's left and they're free of the phobia, and then 2 weeks later somebody else phones me and says, oh, I got a fear of heights, and I go, oh, I'm going to use that thing that worked before. Maybe, but maybe not.
It's like copy and paste, and you don't want to do that. So learn hypnosis in a fluid, flexible way where you can respond to the client that comes into your office or meets you on Zoom or whatever it is, and you'll get better results by learning to be a flexible hypnotist. All right, number 2.
Always start with rapport.
Why would we want to do that?
Because rapport is the glue that holds trance together.
That's right.
And we want it to be about you.
So build rapport always, always, always is the first thing that you do when you're speaking with the client, and maintain that rapport. So start with the rapport and maintain it all the way through the session. The client who likes their therapist
is going to change very, very quickly and easily. Give them your full attention all the time, and that alone will build a ton of rapport for you.
Okay, number 3, always ask good questions in the pre-talk. So let's talk about some examples. What would be some good questions?
I can think of a classic example, Chris. If somebody has some horrendous problem, I want to know what changed in your life when this started.
Right.
Things don't just come out of nowhere. If someone suddenly develops this fear of going outside or discovers him and his wife are screaming at each other all the time, I want to say, what changed in your life at that time? Because that's the kind of question that could unlock problems completely. Use good questioning ability, listen to the person, don't assume. Take for granted the fact that when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
Right.
So instead, listen to them and ask the right questions.
Another question you might ask is, how do you know you have this problem? You're looking for the evidence criteria, which you can then jot down on your notepad, and you can use that to help you craft your intervention, right?
Nice.
So, okay.
Perfect, which leads to number 4. Always be calibrating.
ABC.
ABC. How hard is that to remember? Answer, not at all. By calibrating, we mean watching, looking at the other person, listening to their vocal tone, watching their face change as they discuss problems or what they're going through. Always notice when shifts are happening. I've seen good hypnotists go right by the change. They haven't paid attention and seen it's even happened. Be calibrating, be watching, stay in that psychodynamic loop.
We've also seen lots of examples, not lots, but we've seen a few examples where a hypnosis trainer might be doing a demonstration and standing like behind the subject, not able to look at their face, not able to see changes in facial tension or tonus or anything like that. Make sure you're making either eye contact or using your foveal vision to determine what's going on and seeing what's actually happening. You're looking at your client at all times.
Good.
Okay, next is number 5. Always aim for a deep trance.
Always. Now, somnambulism. Remember, trances are really just a model anyway. We're not getting into discussions on that. But generally speaking, we see somnambulism, back to Marquis de Puysegur, as
the working
state of hypnosis, meaning that's when the best change work happens. Now, a lot of people nowadays, you'll typically hear from different hypnosis schools, oh, well, somnambulism's not necessary. All you need is a light trance to get all kinds of change.
And it's true. You can make a lot of changes in a light trance.
But the people who typically say that over and over are really experienced at getting people into light trances.
Right.
Usually through that horrible progressive muscle relaxation induction, which is so outdated now. So aim for somnambulism, aim for the basement, take them down into a deep trance. Your change work will be easier and much more profound.
All right, and let's move on to number 6. This one is about knowing who you want to work with, who you should work with, and who you shouldn't. So we call this one, when in doubt, bounce them out. All right. So when are some bounce them out meaning, okay, if somebody just seems totally weird to you and you just get a weird vibe and I don't want to work with that person, don't work with them.
Right.
Send them to someone else.
Person's just gotten out of prison or something for violence.
Well, if they just
and he's acting weird in your office, bounce them out. Let someone else deal with it.
Or if the intake gives you the creeps, just don't deal with that client.
But beyond that, it can even be just that you think it's going to be something as simple as the person has insomnia and you're going to work maybe with direct suggestions or whatever to help them sleep better. But when they come into the office, you discover it's not just that. They have a whole realm of psychiatric disorders, health problems that you and I and Chris are not qualified to deal with. When you have any doubt, it's ecology first. Send them to someone who is qualified to treat them.
Right. Now remember, simple things, some things that will sound simple. A lot of people will say, oh, I have depression. That's a clinical diagnosis.
We can't do that.
Don't deal with depression. You can say to the client, I cannot treat depression. I'm not qualified to treat depression because I'm not a medical or whatever it is you want to say.
Right.
Because you have to have qualifications to deal with that are not just, I'm a hypnotist. All right. Because it's a clinical condition. You can say, I cannot work on depression, but I can help you become happier.
There you go. And anybody is allowed to help other people become happier.
So know who you're qualified to work with and bounce out clients that just generally give you the creeps.
Good point. Now also, have a professional environment. Make sure your office, or if you're working online, for instance, don't have your iPad down in your laundry room with dirty laundry in the background. You will not seem professional. In an office, we have friends who have offices that are really sensitive and new agey, and that's perfect for their clients.
Yeah.
Other people, it looks more like a medical office.
Yeah. If you've got incense burning and essential oils, that might not attract the client who is the white collar suit and tie banker who wants to work on his anxiety for work. It might not.
It might not.
But have an environment that matches what you want to
attract, like the kind of person you want to work with. Have an environment that will appeal to them. Well put.
Right. Now, if you're working online, which so many people do these days, hypnosis via Zoom, etc., make sure that your camera is good quality, that your background looks clean and tidy and professional, and that you're wearing clothes that are appropriate and that you're well lit, that kind of thing. Have a good microphone. Present yourself online professionally. Okay, number 8. Let's move on to number 8.
Number 8 is take good notes. And the reason is during the session, you should be writing down keywords they use, phrases they use that you can feed back to them. You want to make sure that when they give you the subjective units of distress, how bad they feel, that it is changed by the end of the session. So you can show them, oh, it was an 8 when you came in, now it's a 1 or whatever. And for follow-up sessions, keep clear notes and make sure that you put them somewhere safe. They will be your friend when you need them.
Okay, and number 9 is future pace. We say always check your work. So future pacing means that once you're done the change work, you have to check your work in some way to be confident as a hypnotist that you've done your job and also to sell the client that the problem has actually been solved. So what are some ways we might future pace?
Well, this is great. And our friend Anthony Jacquin is really, really strong on this point. We completely agree with him. If you're not testing your work, you're setting them free out into the world and you're just hoping it's worked and that you're not going to get an irate phone call in 2 days that, you said I wasn't going to be scared of snakes anymore and I saw a snake yesterday. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. That's what you want to watch out for. So you want to be able to say, not throw a boa constrictor on them in your office, but say, and so the next time you go to play golf and a snake slithers across in front of you and you're always calibrating, what will happen? And you want the person not to go, I think it'll be okay. No, you want them to say, nothing will happen. It'll be great. And you're future pacing what will happen when this occurs. And that way you know it's safe to let them go because you fixed the problem with their help.
All right, now we're on to number 10, the final in our list of 10 here, which is to end the session by always asking, what's next? That puts the locus of control back on the client. What do we mean by that exactly?
Well, it means you're saying, I've done what my part is. It's now up to you to take the reins and fix things, do your homework, whatever I've told you to do.
Right.
What's next? You expect the person to say, well, I'm going to get out and do that workout now, and I'm going to put my brain back in order and do this and this and this. You're giving them the control of their own life back, or you're making sure they realize that they're the one in control.
Yeah.
You're not going to follow them home and keep fixing things in their life.
Right. Especially if the problem was something like, let's say weight management, they want to lose weight, And one of the things they might say is, oh, I'm going to go home and I'm going to clean out all the junk food and throw it in the garbage. And then I'm going to take a picture of that garbage can and post it on Facebook or whatever online and show all my friends that I'm making this change.
And that would be fantastic.
Those could have been things that you suggested during the session.
And it indicates to you that they have the locus of control back. So end your sessions with what's next and set in an upbeat kind of friendly way, and that will encourage them to get on with their life.
All right, if you enjoyed this video, I want to mention that we have a full course called The Architecture of Change. It was a one-day course that we taught all about how to run hypnosis sessions, these kinds of tips. Full one-day course. We taught it in Las Vegas. The recordings of that are included in your membership to the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. So the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy includes the full Architecture of Change course. If you go to our website and sign up, you can start with a free trial. We hope you love it. Otherwise, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, click that bell so that you'll always be notified of our next videos, and we'll see you in the next video.